Volunteers in Dallas, Texas are helping struggling families by providing their children with new school uniforms. And in Taiwan, students at the Taipei School for the Visually Impaired are preparing for a musical performance to earn money for charity. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Duncan, DeAeth. Thank you for joining us. According to a survey, over 30% of families in Dallas, Texas earn below the poverty line. Since 2004, Tsuji volunteers have been giving free stationery and new uniforms to students from low-income families. This year, they are providing uniforms to students at 2 schools, and the students have responded with deep gratitude.
We're packaging the uniform for tomorrow. I'm cutting off the tags.
These volunteers are like mothers. Despite their aging eyes, they want to make sure everything is done perfectly.
Good morning, staff. Good morning. We are not special people, just like you are. We are all the same. So everybody can pass the love to everybody.
Get ready to all right. You ready? Thank you.
Thank you. Tsuji volunteers also give new uniforms to students in Barbara Jordan Elementary School in Dallas. This is the 2nd year the volunteers have done it. Some students brought with them their coin bags they have saved throughout the year, which brought the volunteers to tears.
Okay, thank you. Oh, so heavy. Yeah, give me a hug. Thank you. I saw many donations bigger than that, but this is truly hard, truly strong. So I just hope everyone have a safety holiday. Thank you.
I feel thankful and I appreciate it so much.
Tsuji branches all over China are preparing for the end-of-the-year activities. In our next reports, we'll see how volunteers in Hebei are getting ready for a sign language performance at the end-of-the-year ceremony. And we'll see how volunteers in Hebei and Fujian are preparing for winter aid distributions, making their lists and checking them twice to make sure the distributions go smoothly. To prepare for the upcoming winter aid distributions in Fujian, China, volunteers are checking on the warehouse stores with the manager of the rice company.
脆米粒就是在10%以内哈。对，不错，这个你们控制这个是做得很到位。
Besides checking the quality of the rice, they also double-check the durability of the bags that will be used. In years past, 15-kilogram bags were used, but because of the weight, many bags would tear and spill. This year, they have been reduced to 5 kilograms apiece, which has increased some costs.
We want to use these new bags to contribute to society with quality rice and quality bags. These are much better.
Other materials for the distributions are also being prepared and shipped to Xiamen's Wuyuan Bay office. Volunteers are using their time after work to transport the goods.
We just want to make sure our friends and family have enough to make it through the cold winter. We hope this distribution will help them all have a great year. No matter how hard we need to work, it is worth it for their sake.
Meanwhile, in Yixian, Hebei, operations for winter distributions are also moving forward at full pace. Volunteers are checking their lists and confirming quantity of the goods that will be distributed.
We want our materials for the distribution to be delivered smoothly. This way, all of the coordinators at the different sites will know what to expect and the locations are clear. This will help us manage our time better.
In a separate location, volunteers are also preparing for the year-end blessing ceremony in Hebei by practicing the sign language for a sutra performance.
Anyways, you just need to listen to the music. Don't look at the lyric sheet, just sing it out. Your hands will take care of the signs on their own. If you sing in tandem, the signs will come naturally.
Whether preparing for blessing ceremonies or winter aid distributions, volunteers all over China are preparing to greet the coming year with a smile. As the end of this year approaches, Tzu Chi is hosting year-end blessing ceremonies throughout Taiwan. In central Taiwan, a volunteer shared with everyone how she has coped with adversity in her life since becoming a DaAi mother. Another resident shared how she wants to contribute to society by donating her life savings. Let's take a look.
Here at the year-end blessing ceremony at the Qinshui Jinsi Home, some residents are donating their coin banks, while students of Tzu Children's class also join to receive the red envelopes of blessings and wisdom. Tzu are also on site to promote vegetarianism and encourage everyone to protect the planet by going meatless.
Let's go, Tzu. Let's work together to promote vegetarianism at school.
Meanwhile, here at the year-end blessing ceremony in Puli, Nantou, Pan Hong Suyin wants to carry out the acts of giving by donating the money she has saved for a long time.
Being able to help others is our fortune, which also means that we will still have the ability to do so.
She says she is not rich throughout her life. However, she feels content because she can save some money to help the needy. Liao Shouqin also shares her past year at the year-end blessing ceremony in Taiping, Taichung. She used to complain about her adversity in her life because she feels depressed after being diagnosed with cancer. But she has changed her mindset after she became a DaAi mother.
After taking some lessons about being a DaAi mother, I have learned more about Tzu Chi. I know that Master is doing a lot of things. I am touched.
After joining with everyone to pass on love, Liao has opened up her heart and brightened her life.
Next, we'll visit a year-end blessing ceremony in Yilan and see how the community there is reflecting on the last year and sharing blessings and well wishes for the future. Some volunteers were also braving the elements to promote vegetarianism as part of the year-end event.
In Yilan County, Taiwan, Tzu Chi recently held its year-end blessing ceremony. As part of the event, some volunteers were out braving the cold and rain to promote vegetarianism, encouraging everyone to join the January 11th Ethical Eating Day.
This is an important time of year for Tzu Chi because of our year-end blessing ceremonies, and we want to give a warm welcome to the public.
Li Jiming is a manager of a recycling station. He came with his wife and his children to share his experience of the past year.
When I went back to the hospital to have an analysis, they discovered I had a cerebral aneurysm.
Facing the condition head-on, Mr. Lee was not discouraged. He faced the surgery with a positive attitude. And after the operation's success, he became more active than ever at the recycling station. At the event, people learn from others' stories and blessings are shared with everyone. Some first-time participants here are left with a strong feeling of gratitude.
It really gives my heart a calm feeling, and I'm able to rise above worrying over little things. Really, every time I come here, I feel very happy and leave with a heart of gratitude.
These participants at the year-end blessing ceremony are ready for the new year with calm minds and hearts of gratitude, ready to face the new year with a positive outlook.
Staying in Yilan, Taiwan, recently Tzu Chi volunteers and families of inmates attended a parent-inmate meeting in Yilan prison. They encouraged the inmates to quit smoking and quit drugs and alcohol in hopes that when they return home, they can start life anew.
Tzu Chi volunteers come to Yilan prison for a parent-inmate meeting. Volunteers perform a sign language drama to encourage inmates to repent their mistakes and arrange them to kneel before their elders to express gratitude. The inmates show the skills they have learned and are also awarded for quitting smoking, drugs, or alcohol. Through the support of their families and society, inmates are given another chance to return to their normal lives.
Tima recently held a free clinic in DaAi County for residents living in the countryside. Although the population is small, there are often difficulties notifying residents. But volunteers did their best to make sure everyone was able to receive treatment. Some Tima doctors even made house calls to residents who had difficulty making it to the clinic. Let's take a look. To prepare for a free Tima clinic in DaAi County, Meishan Township, and Ruifang Village, volunteers were worried about how they would contact all of the residents. There are a few public bulletin boards. Residents often won't answer their phones, and many residents don't use applications like Line. So in the end, volunteers chose this method.
We're having a free clinic at the Ruifang Community Center. We will have orthopedic surgeons there.
After announcing the event well in advance, there were quite a few residents who showed up for the free medical check. However, for many elderly or disabled residents, it was still too difficult to make the trip. To remedy the problem, the Tima doctors simply went to them. This elderly grandmother has dealt with chronic joint pain for a long time and is forced to walk with a walking stick and cannot straighten her waist. A doctor of Chinese medicine, Ran Ying Xu, recognized her problem and gave her acupuncture treatment, which helped immensely. In total, about 50 people were able to receive treatment thanks to this clinic in DaAi, which is about the number of staff that were mobilized to offer the clinic. When there are so many professionals offering service on a 1-to-1 ratio, these residents are receiving some of the best medical service that Taiwan has to offer. Low wages, hard work, and a lack of recognition means that the average person is generally not willing to work as a long-term caregiver. However, a few 30-somethings are entering this profession and bringing new energy and a new kind of caretaking with them. However, the low social status of this work, along with the lack of promotion, is making it hard to attract more like-minded individuals to the profession.
Every day early in the morning, 30-something Liu Ting Ting goes out and visits Mr. Tai, who has mobility issues. As a traveling caregiver, apart from documenting and understanding each individual, one also has to assist in cleaning the home environment, which often leaves caregivers feeling not respected.
Most people think we come to clean or help them cook or do other household chores. They don't really realize that we are professionals.
Low wages, hard work, and lack of recognition and respect are the main reasons why the general public doesn't want to do this work. Liu says that aside from the income, caregivers get back much more than they expend.
One time when my child was sick, I had to stay at home for a whole week, and this elderly man was very concerned about me. I'm just doing my job, but the feedback that we get back is incredible.
Speaking fluent Taiwanese and always having a smile on his face is Lai Yu Ting, who works at the Quixotic Implement Foundation daycare center as a young caregiver. He studied Japanese in college, and 2 years ago he began working in this profession. He says working with the elderly teaches him empathy.
My grandmother was hospitalized, and so I took this course. And before it was finished, she died.
In the interview process, we struggled and wondered if this young person would be able to fit in with these elderly people.
Only 26 years of age, Yu Ting joined the daycare service staff. Unexpectedly, his participation and design of activities helped the elderly to laugh even more.
The co-workers told me when we interact with grandpas and grandmas, it's not like how they interact with us. Their eyes light up when they see young people.
Although there is great enthusiasm and spirit, performing this caregiver duty also comes with a few difficult tests.
First of all, the most terrible thing is helping them change their diapers. When you open the diaper, the smell is really terrible. That's when I learned that being a parent is a terrific responsibility.
In addition to overcoming the difficulty of changing diapers, the social status and pay of caregivers is quite low, leading many young people to avoid this work.
Many young people will think this job isn't something the young could do. They will think this is the type of the job that someone in their middle age will take up.
I think the government in this regard must try to focus on getting more of these young people in the long-term care plan too, giving them a certain salary and promotions in this line of work.
According to the Ministry of Health and Welfare in 2016, to implement the long-term care program to achieve 70% coverage, some 39,012 staff are needed. At the moment, the number is just 8,149, which means an increase of 3.7 times is needed, as there is an important need to increase the pace of recruitment into this industry.
Students from the Taipei School for the Visually Impaired have been busy preparing for a musical concert. The event is not just to share music, but also to raise money for a special emergency fund to help needy people. Here's more on their performance.
Only a few minutes are left before the official performance, but the students at the Taipei School for the Visually Impaired are rehearsing on stage. These visually impaired students are holding a concert, and it takes them more time to prepare.
Because we can't see the sheet music, we must first memorize it. Our biggest difficulty is spending a longer time memorizing all the notes.
I normally practice during the morning study period, lunch break, or even from 4 to 5:30, or the evening study period.
In the second year of its operation, students from the elementary division to the high school division of the Taipei School for the Visually Impaired, including alumni, hold a concert today. Besides showing the result of their practice, the students want to use the chance to help other people.
We hold this concert to raise money for our emergency relief fund. If some students' families suddenly encounter an emergency, we can use it to help their families.
We always feel they must be exhausted from practice, just like us. But when they make a breakthrough, we notice they have grown and have become better.
Their sweet voices vibrate in our ears. These students want to use this chance to send love and hope during this freezing winter.
Children with autism tend to have unique characteristics and need a special environment to grow and flourish. One mother from Kaohsiung, who is also a nurse, says that special care and a lot of patience are required to raise autistic children. A patient and loving attitude is the best way to reduce parent-child conflict and keep everyone happy.
Constantly grabbing this red dirt and dumping it over his head is his young child, Chen Chen.
He was very interested in this red dirt when he came in and has continued to play with it. Those with a non-medical background may find it difficult to understand an autistic child. I've had to convince my husband our child is very special because they have their own ideas.
Chen Chen has severe autism and mostly does not speak. In addition to enjoying the sensation of grabbing at the dirt, he likes to put things in his mouth to feel them. His mother says that more and different effort is needed to interact with him.
One has to admire their differences. For example, I admire my child's ability to freely live in his own world.
Chen Chen's mother is less than 30 years old and worked as a nurse in a hospital. 3 years ago, she learned her husband had a rare disease, and her child's special qualities have also been a challenge, but she doesn't spend too much time pitying herself. She found a new job in a long-term care center where she works the night shift, and so that she can accompany her child and husband in the daytime. She's trying to be patient in overcoming these obstacles and reminds other parents with children who have similar problems to slow down the pace of their life to better care for their children.
The Tsuji Indonesia chapter recently hosted a charity sale at a Jingse Hall to raise money for the establishment of a Tsuji hospital in Indonesia. One volunteer who recently devoted his time to assisting quake survivors in Aceh also came to help out. Some Tsuji school students even donated their drawings depicting Jingse aphorisms to support this event. Let's see how the charity sale went.
To establish a Tsuji hospital in Indonesia, local Tsuji volunteers host the third charity sale, where clothing and daily necessities are available for purchase.
This event is great since we seldom have such charity sale here. Besides buying things, we can also donate some money to help set up the hospital.
Students from Taipei School have also donated their drawings depicting Jinsi aphorisms for this charity sale as a way to do good deeds while sharing positive words. A volunteer who has recently been assisting quake survivors in Aceh also came to help out.
This charitable event is hosted for building a hospital. Just like what Master Zheng Yan said, the hospital is established to save lives and cure illnesses, which can provide assistance to more people.
Some politicians and businessmen are also on site to encourage more people to do good deeds, utilizing their social impact.
It's incredible because many local products are exhibited for this charity sale. Though it is hosted for setting up a Tsuji hospital, local products can benefit from the exposure of this event too.
With everyone's love and dedication, the people in Indonesia can now expect to have a hospital which not only safeguards their health, but also caring for their mental well-being.
The Tsuji Malaysia chapter recently invited more than 100 community volunteers and Tsuji volunteers to serve in 25 different areas across 7 states to attend Tsuji's annual camp. At the event, participants gathered to discuss how to improve their mission of caring for the disadvantaged in the next year. Some care recipients also joined this event to thank volunteers for their assistance. Here's more.
More than 100 community volunteers and Tsuji volunteers who serve in 25 different areas across 7 states have been invited to attend Tsuji's annual camp. A care recipient came here from Johor to express her gratitude for Tsuji's company.
He had a stroke at home and no one came to help us, but Tsuji brother Mingong came to care for us.
All of the volunteers are discussing how to improve their mission of caring the less fortunate with modern technology.
I'm coming here to learn all this to implement, and from this class we know how to be, there's a guidance, there's a way. How we go and after we learn this, we will implement to our members to do more better on this home visiting.
Everyone donates their coin banks with joy, which also makes them feel more confident in fulfilling Tsuji's mission in their communities.
In Vancouver, Canada, every year before Christmas, Tsuji volunteers organize a winter aid distribution for the First Nations community in the area. We'll leave you with these images at the end of our program. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.